All right, so I've had a day or couple of days to calm down and collect my thoughts. And it's 100% my fault, and I said it was my fault. I used a friend's DeWalt impact gun to tighten the lug nuts on the truck. I have all Milwaukee stuff. I went off a sound. I don't just hammer it until the lug nut stops because that's a great way to break the wheel studs. And then I got distracted and I never retightened the lug nuts and I drove the truck another 100 miles. Totally my fault. When I felt the tiniest sensation of like a vibration in the front, when I hit the brake pedal right just down the road here, I should have stopped immediately, but traffic, 2-lane road, I'm like a quarter mile from the house. I'm gonna wait until I get home. My garage door's open. I'm gonna pull it in on the hoist. We'll check it out there. It makes way more sense at the time. I didn't make it that far. So I just crested the hill. There was a gap in traffic, so I kind of was gently coasting into my driveway. And as I did so, all heck broke loose. The wheel apparently came all the way off, and obviously, and went under the truck. The truck actually flipped up on two wheels, or it felt like it did anyway, on the passenger side. My buddy Kirk was in there with me. We bashed against each other both directions as we hit that way, and then it came down even harder all the way till the control arm was laying on the asphalt driveway, and it gouged my driveway that I just had resealed and bent the wheel, cut the tire, and all this stuff. So it's a bad deal. Nobody to blame but me. I'm the idiot. It's 100% my fault, but crap happens. So being stupid's getting expensive. There's another brand new 18-inch tire and wheel. Another $350 down the drain, or slightly more. Thankfully, my buddy Lance there with the blue S10, he had a spare fender kicking around, so he has graciously donated that to the rebuild cause. So we're gonna spend a little time in the next few days and see what we can do. The worst part of all of it is the door is now like hanging and overlapping the jamb by a lot. And I can't even physically pick the door up high enough to get it to close. I in a fit of rage, I slammed it and got it to close once. And just that was enough to like really gouge up that. So anyway, we'll, yeah, it's pretty frustrating, stupid mistake. So we'll keep plugging away. It was getting so good too. Like it was running great. And despite the oxygen sensor code, it ran good. It was driving good. So just one more bump in the road. That was an ugly one. In the meantime, it's Thursday night and they're having a little car meet again over here at the local farm market spot. So I think we're gonna go over there and hang out with the boys and decompress a little bit. We still got other trucks, so we're not lacking for trucks around here.
Good boy.
Yeah, there's beautiful Javelin here, 401. Said it's like all fiberglass front end, and engine's all built. That thing's pretty cool looking. And Andrew's got his C10 here with the supercharged 6-liter 4L80. This thing is really sweet. Very nice, clean build. Lift it up and see what we got. Well, check out the sweet flat spot we made on the shock and the lower control arm. That's interesting. Busted the grease zerk off the ball joint. Drug the lower control arm there a little bit. So that's pretty crazy. But honestly, the spindle holds the rotor and stuff up above, so like it didn't kill the brakes or anything. It didn't break any wheel studs. It didn't even, dare I say, it doesn't even look like it bent the control arm or anything. It just pushed it, pushed it into the ground. And all the weight went there. Like I don't see the frame as having damage. I'll have to get into like comparing the body mounts as far as, but I feel like they sit pretty much the same. I don't think anything is really bent or twisted. However, the cab floor might be pushed up. I don't know. Pretty wild. So you can see the weight of the whole truck push right here on this corner, which, that's that corner, the bottom of the cab right there. So, it definitely took this inner fender piece and bent the snot out of it here. It's got a big kink in it, and that stuff's all bent up. But being the inner fender, I don't know, maybe we can beat that back into submission. So I think we're going to start with taking the wheel off and lowering it down and seeing if we can get the fender off. To get the fender off, we got to take off the grill and the headlight trims and that little valance piece. And so it's going to be a process. But where we need to start is getting that door to fit in the door jamb, because the fender aligns to the door and so on and so forth. So we really got to get it torn down to the part where we can try and get that door positioned correctly again. So the tear down begins. So we had to remove the grill, the headlight bezels, then the grill, then the valance piece, bumper filler piece, and then the hood, and then the cowl, the inner fender, and then the outer fender. And this is where we're sitting right now. And now I'm like trying to inspect this stuff and see. I don't know. I don't know what happened here. Nothing looks visibly like, oh yeah, that's bent. Like, I'm not sure what the answer is. It's crazy. Not sure if it's the door itself or if it's the hinge on the A-pillar, as it's called. So it definitely hit here. I mean, there and there. Man, it's so hard to tell. Just not sure. So that looks like a thing. The hinge is pulled away here from the body of the door there. So this being pulled forward would push the door back, which would give us that effect. I wonder if we need a whole door or if that's something we can adjust. I'm not sure what the deal is, but Hagerty's Cars and Coffee is packed this morning. I'm here before 7 a.m. when it starts. They're already pushing people out to the street. There's no parking left in here. So busy, they're parked on the opposite side of the building out here next to the street. Cars driving around the block looking for places to park. It's pretty crazy. Even all the way out here at the entrance to the road on the other side. Place is just packed right out today. That's sick.
So I appreciate it. That's very reassuring.
Enjoy getting an idea.
Better late than never.
Get out.
Hi. How are you?
I'm here to collect the
Pretty spectacular. Never actually witnessed the front fog lights turning with the car as it turns like it did. That's pretty sweet. See them in museums and they're parked with them turned, so you know that they do that, but never actually witnessed it take place.
Oh, so the big clock,
So this is a pretty spectacular ride to show up here this morning. AMG 4x4 squared with carbon fiber fender extensions. It has amp fold down running boards below the running board. Carbon fiber trim, like this thing is pretty amazing. How cool. It's like jewelry. This thing is beautiful. E30 M3. Kind of an interesting color combination, the green with the burgundy interior, but what a cool car. I remember seeing there was a guy in town that had a white one when I was a kid. I always thought it was so sweet because it had that DTM style bodywork with the widened flares. Just gorgeous. So I just moved the truck over so I can work on another vehicle, and that's a new noise. Sounds like it's coming out of the alternator. Super loud. That's new after the incident. So we'll have to look into that. Lovely. But still sounds good here. This is why we converted mine to power steering, although it doesn't sound nearly as cool as this one. Then you got Corey's school bus of a truck, which is awesome. A lot of nice cars here this morning already. That doesn't look like Ford motor in there. Dark Horse. It's pretty wicked. Like 2-piece rotor, true carbon wheel. These things are pretty wicked. Can't see in it because it's all blacked out. So Andrew stopped by and he's like, you just bend it up. So he grabbed the jack and he's getting it. It's getting better and better. Sooner or later we'll get this door to fit again and then we can start putting the pieces puzzle back together. You can see the dash hopping up and down when he's hitting it. You can tell these things weren't made out of much back then. It's no wonder why the windshield cracked when that happened. It's like the dash is hopping up and down about 1/4 of an inch or more. It's nuts, but
I'd give it another whack, but I just broke that 2x4 in half.
we got it better, not great. He's gonna come back tomorrow, but I got an event tonight. I got to do some valet parking. So for now, it's just gonna sit right there. And maybe in the next video, you guys will get to see it back in one piece, hopefully.